Sports are easy to disagree on. Let's see what happens when sports talk hosts talk about something they agree on.
No, hold on. I'm saying drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Well, I disagree. I think drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Come on, man. Wait, I think we're saying the same thing.
Oh, so what do we do now?
Everyone agrees that drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings by new customer surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary.
Stand by. The vacuum tubes are warming up. This is a special live broadcast right here on Georgia Radio.
Well, we got a special guest today. We're talking to Mr. Howard Bellamy of the Bellamy Brothers. They'll be playing up in Newnan, Georgia. Coming up this Friday at 7:30 at the Wadsworth Auditorium. You can get your tickets, of course, at itickets.com. You can also buy them. We'll put the phone number up in the show story here in just a little while. But Mr. Bellamy, Howard Bellamy, joining us right now. You grew up on a cattle ranch, if my memory serves correct, that has been in your family since the Civil War. What was that like, Howard?
Good morning, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What was that like growing up on that big ranch?
Well, I'm sitting here right as we speak, still on the old ranch. It's been in our family since 1870. Our great-grandfather was injured in the Civil War at the Battle of Chickamauga, which is Georgians know where that's at.
Oh, yeah.
And afterward, he came down and he healed and came down and settled this place here. And we've been here ever since. People ask, why did you never move to Nashville? Well, that's why. It's the history's too deep, and it's just too close to the heart, you know. And but it was wild Florida. I don't know if you ever saw the old movie The Yearling back in the early days. It's a movie about the wilds of Florida and settling, and it was, you know, rattlesnakes, alligators, moccasins, and any other kind of creature that could harm you was here.
It was all right there.
Yeah, it was all right here. How meadows and humidity and everything undesirable. And but you know, they settled here, and also our grandmother ran cattle. We just did a presentation at a restaurant that was open. They wanted to get all the old Florida brands, you know, branding irons, and we took our grandmother's over, Lenora Bellamy, and it was actually the second registered brand in the state of Florida. It was right after the no fencing. There was no fencing in those days, and they just ran wild, and they marked and brand their cattle. That's how they identified them. But it was pretty interesting that our grandmother had the second registered brand in the state. So, yeah, we've got quite a history here in Florida, and we're still here. Got our studio these days right in the yard. So, you know, if the mood hits you and go out and you know, put a song down or whatever. It's and we've toured around in 70 countries, over 70 countries through the years, and we always come back to this whole place. It's like a magnet. A lot of ups and downs here, but we're still here.
I just love it. I've heard you say it before. You're the only guys with a hit record and an outhouse, which I think that's great. You know,
yeah, that's a fact.
When you grow up in a rural area like that, and so many folks who listen to this station, they still live there and they get it. But, you know, there's this point, and I know it not being a native Georgian, but a South Texan myself, that at some point, you're always thinking about getting out of there, and then you realize it, like you and David did, that what you've got's pretty incredible. Was there a point when you realized that yourself professionally, and you said, you know, I think coming back here has its merit? I mean, do you remember that point, or has it just always kind of been there?
Well, yeah, I do remember it, because we actually lived, of course, the ranch was still in our family, but we lived in the early 70s, or early mid-70s in Los Angeles, you know, when Lecture Luplo was recorded there. And
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think this is fascinating. People who have done great things like you and David, you always seem to find great people, and you lived in this big house, if I remember correctly, with some pretty interesting people that went on to do some incredible things.
Well, interesting is a good word. Yeah, unusual would fit as well. Yeah, we lived in, we worked, David wrote Spiders and Snakes that Jim Stafford had the hit on, and we ended up living in Jim Stafford's basement with the comedian Gallagher. So, that was pretty chaotic. Not a whole lot of sleep got done there. But, yeah, we were there for, going on 5 years.
Wow.
Actually recorded Let Your Love Flow. But, right after that, we recorded Let Your Love Flow, and we realized, of course, there were can't even go into. You have to read the book, Matt. You got to get the book. It tells the inside stories of what really happened there, and there was involvement with some shady characters. We had which record labels. Was full of it those days, and I think the hit series The Sopranos tells even they had an episode devoted to that. What went on in the music business. But, we've kind of escaped a bad situation we were in, not musically, but, business-wise, and moved back to Florida. And, boy, it sure looked good when we got here. I want to tell you, those swamps and moccasins look really good. And, we haven't left here since. I mean, we've left here. We've done 72 countries, I think, but we always come back. And, every time I pull in here from every trip we've ever made, it's just like a sigh of relief. Well, we made it. We made it back, and we've buried all of our relatives here in an old graveyard we've got nearby. That's in an old historic cemetery. We're proud of our heritage, and we're still here. They haven't run us out yet.
Tell me about the first time you heard your song on the radio. I love asking this question. I guess it would have been Let Your Love Flow.
It was, and we heard it. I was still living in L.A. at the time, and I'd gone down on Santa Monica Boulevard, if everybody's heard about it, had a great guitar, man down there that, would fix your guitars, anything wrong with them. And Art Valdez was his name. He even sold to John Lennon a dobro. That's how great of a guitar fixer he was. Everybody came to him. But we were parked on the street, Santa Monica there, and I got out and was walking down on the sidewalk. And as I walked, there was these young, a car full of young kids that had the radio blasting, and they opened their doors, and Love Flow was just, pranked. And I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah.
It shocked me, it shocked me. And so that was really the first time I heard it on the radio. There's another story that Roger Miller got it played one time, but it wasn't fair what he did.
It wasn't in the natural element of it. I get it.
Yeah, that story would take too long. But those are hearing it for the first time was it was an eye opener, and like what have I done? You don't realize the depth of it until later on it sinks in, and now we've had everybody from people's gotten married to it. They've the people's gotten buried to it. It's that song has been involved in so many things and really launched our career.
Well, you're going to be at the Wadsworth Auditorium in Noonan, Georgia, not too far from our family farm that we have now, and we didn't need a corn crib in our barn anymore, Howard, so I built a radio studio, and it's just it works out great, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
But Noonan, Georgia, this Friday, 7:30. Tickets at itickets.com. You mentioned your book, and it's a great read. I'm guessing you're going to have some copies of that available there, as well as CDs and everything else on Friday night, too, that folks can get.
Yeah, we'll carry along all of that stuff, and even lately we have a vinyl release. Our distributor talked us into doing a vinyl collection, and I never thought I'd see the day that you carry a vinyl, but they sell like hotcakes. It's only been out like 4 or 5 months now, and so yeah, if you can carry vinyl, we realized you have to handle the vinyl. It's totally different. You can't put it under. I can't put it under the bus; they'll melt.
Yeah, nobody wants
to make room on the bus to put the vinyl.
That's right. Nobody wants a warped record. Well, there you go. I first saw y'all live. My first job in country radio back in Texas, in a little town of Huntsville, where I was working in radio.
Where the prison is.
Yeah. Y'all were playing our honky tonk down there, and I saw you there a number of times when I opened it up for you, and just a great show that you've always done there at Shenanigans back then. But that's going back a few years.
Well, I do remember it, though.
Yeah.
Huntsville,
yeah, oh, yeah. Remember going to breakfast with y'all a time or two after the show. Just having a great time, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all again. But, I heard a story the other night, and it just absolutely cracked me up. I have always said if I had a nickel for every time I played Redneck Girl, I could buy the other property across the street from our farm. But I heard this story, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, about one night when y'all were playing, and everybody knows the rules of a honky-tonk. No matter what, you don't stop playing. But apparently, you probably know where I'm going with this, a night in Spokane, Washington, when you were playing that song and something happened.
Yeah, girl had a baby right in front of the stage.
This is true.
Real well. I remember real well. We were playing with the old group. I don't know. You had to be kind of old, but the old country rock group called Poco.
Okay.
And Poco had played before us, and we were on, and it was a great show, great crowd, and just all of a sudden we saw this. It was shortly before we started Redneck Girl, but we saw this, a care unit band start backing into the crowd, and we're like, what's going on, And all of a sudden people were gathering around in one section of the crowd, and they realized they didn't get there soon enough to put her in the van and take her off, but she had it right there. And she actually named her kid Bellamy. That story too, and we'll still occasionally get some on social media or whatever, hear from them, and so
I had to ask you. I had that in my notes here. I wanted to make sure I got that one out because I heard that and I just couldn't believe it. But I think that's great. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you this Friday down there at the Wadsworth Auditorium in Noonan, Georgia. You can get your tickets right now at itickets.com. And Howard, if they want to buy your book online, if folks are looking, how's the best way for them to get a hold of y'all and get that stuff?
Well, it's on all of you can go to our website and all. Like you say, we do carry it with us. And we're looking forward to being in Noonan. It's been a long time since we've been in that area of Georgia. And of course, Florida, Georgia crackers go back a long way.
Howard Bellamy, thanks for coming on with me. Sure appreciate it.
My pleasure, Matt. Good talking to you.
When we come back, Jamie Dingler will join us and give away some tickets to the big Bellamy Brothers show this Friday night there at the Wadsworth Auditorium. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Wade Peoples from Georgia Folk and Farm Life Radio. I'm here to tell you about Meeks Brothers Cattle Company. And you don't have to worry about supply chain issues or where your beef comes from. Do what I do and call Meeks Brothers Cattle Company today. You can get a whole, half, a quarter, any amount of beef you want. Good quality beef, vacuum packed, lasts up to 3 years in your freezer. It's grass-fed, grain-finished, made to order. Visit Meeks Brothers Cattle Company on Facebook today and tell them Brother Wade sent you. And that's Meeks Brothers Cattle Company. Thank you.
Matt Jolley, right here on Georgia Radio.
Well, my my thanks to Howard Bellamy for coming on. I wanted to get Jamie Dingler on here from Country Legends Promotion. He's the producer of the show. And Jamie, thanks for being here.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Listen, you've done quite a few of these shows. I guess the last two, Gene Watson and then as well as Doug Stone, were a lot of fun. I appreciate that.
Hey, they are a lot of fun, but they're a lot of work, too. Been doing this for many, many years, and just enjoy doing them.
Well, a lot of people remember you as Pop from This Is Country Music.
Yeah, I was on, I was a disc jockey for a long time. I was Pop for This Is Country Radio for a long time. We was worldwide for many years. We did a Country Gold Saturday night, and so I kindly backed out of that and started doing country music shows.
I think that's great. Well, let's see here. We're going to send some lucky recipient to see your show. Pick a number, if you will, between, it can't be the number 4. So that leaves it between 1 and 7.
Let's do lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. Okay. I will put that through the gonculator, and then we'll announce the winner here in just a second. How did you get into country music shows?
Well, I had a buddy of mine that did country music shows. He had been doing them since 1970, and he just, he come to me one day and he said, "Hey, let's do some shows together." And I said, he was a lot older than I was, but he was a mentor of mine. And me and him started doing shows together, and, it was like, me and him was like daylight and dark. I mean, we really was. We was nothing alike, and we started doing shows together, and I lost him. His name was Mike Blackwell with Blackwell Promotions, and I lost him back in 2000. I lost him, and it was bad times back then. And but me and him had 50 shows together that year when COVID came out, and we had to cancel every one of them. And then I think it was May, he went in the hospital. Never came back out. He passed away. And, I think he was just trying to get somebody to take over his legacy that he had done.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I got started in it. And I just, and I enjoy doing it. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work, but I really, really enjoy putting on shows for people, bringing music to, especially the classic country and stuff, bringing it to their neighborhoods and to their towns, and just, letting them see the artists that they grew up listening to.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. And, it's so important to keep this real country music alive, because the sound of it is changing, and it's, it's important that we keep these folks going. And like you said, the stuff that people grew up on, they still want to hear it, and those folks still want to get out there and play too. So it's important to do that. The Bellamy Brothers are coming back from a world tour. They've been all over the place, playing around Europe.
They've been overseas here for a long time.
Yep. And, of course, Let Your Love Flow was a huge hit for them back in the 70s. Saw international success, a lot in Germany. And they still have loyal roots over there that they go over there and play for all those fine folks, and then come back home and play, too.
I think they go over and stay about 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. It's a month or two they go over there and stay out of the year. And I mean, when they're going overseas, you can't book them or anything, because I think they do it the same time every year. But I think it's 1 or 2 months that they're going over there. And I mean, the Bellamy Brothers, great band. I mean, you would be surprised if you sit down, go on YouTube, sit down, listen to their music. I mean, their music is still as popular today as it was in 1970, 80, or 90.
You're absolutely right. Well, Chrissy Anderson is the lucky winner of number 7. She was in the number 7 spot. So, Chrissy, you're going to get to go and hear the Bellamy Brothers if you can go to the show. If not, it'll roll to the next person. But we're looking forward to seeing you there, Chrissy Anderson, at the Bellamy Brothers show this Friday night in Noonan, Georgia. Jamie, it's at the Wadsworth Auditorium, and folks want to get tickets still at itickets.com. Is that right?
Still at itickets.com. We have 141 tickets left. We would like to sell every one of them tickets out. Most of the tickets right now is at $45 a ticket. You go to itickets.com. get your tickets there. And, there's a lot of people out. Let me get you a phone number right quick. There's a lot of people out that calls me all the time and says, Jamie, I just can't go on the internet and do that. Do you have a number? So let me give you a phone number that you can call and get tickets. It's going to be 614-414-6899.
All right, that's 614-414-6899. Again, 614-414-6899. And get your tickets to see the Bellamy Brothers this Friday night in Noonan, Georgia. You can go to dinner, go out, have a great night with your special someone, and then go see the show at 7:30 there at the Wadsworth.
That's right. There's plenty of places around the square to eat right there, nice places. Y'all come on out and be with us. Show your support for the old country music. That's what we look forward to.
Amen. And I'll be out there. We'll have our table out front for GeorgiaRadio.com, and you can come out and get a copy of our new app. It's a free app that you can download and play all of your favorite country legends music right there off the app on our live stream. So we appreciate that. Jamie, thanks for coming on.
No, Matt, thank you for having me, and we look forward to one day sitting down and talking about some more old country music, okay?
I'm looking forward to it. Jamie Dingler from Country Legends Promotions. Thanks for coming on.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you Friday night right there in the lobby of the Wadsworth Auditorium. Just look for the Georgia Radio table. I'll have some copies and a way for you to get our new app, the My Georgia Radio app. It'll be available there Friday night, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you when you come in. So, see you soon. We're running the numbers on the ticket giveaways, and we'll be reaching out to you via social media right there through the feed. So, lucky number 7 you'll be reached out to. If lucky number 7 can't go, we'll keep rolling down the list until we get all of our seats filled. But again, my thanks to Howard Bellamy and the Bellamy Brothers. And, of course, to Jamie Dingler from Country Legends Promotions. See you Friday night at the Wadsworth Auditorium. So long for now.
All the best country.
Georgia Radio. Everywhere you go.